All right, it's time for the Cybertruck Roundup. Yeehaw! The Cybertruck Roundup. So Matt Wallace said, learned something new about the Cybertruck from Wes Morrill. He's the Tesla engineer that makes these things. At higher speeds, the wiper will move slightly and enter what's called aero mode to help with efficiency and aerodynamics. Super cool to hear it directly from the guy who helped build it.
So the wiper moves a couple of inches inward in aero mode, and a lot of Cybertruck owners thought that their wiper was broken.
Yeah, I thought the same thing because I saw it like moving and fluttering, and I thought, oh, we're going to call service. And a lot of Tesla owners did call service. I saw this all throughout X, and I'm like, Tesla, why didn't you put this on the Cybertruck screen to tell us all about this? Why, as Cybertruck says, this was my little secret. Don't keep things secret from your owners if it's going to mean we're going to call for service.
Especially when it's a very noticeable part of the truck, the giant 54-inch windshield wiper.
So if that's on purpose, like, tell us that.
Because there's a lot of jerks that try to make people who own Cybertrucks feel, insecure about
What's wrong with your wiper?
Why is it so big? I bet it costs $1 million. It costs $74.
That's a lot.
Which is a lot for a wiper, but you only have to buy one.
Okay.
So if you watch Legacy Media, then you probably heard major Tesla recall of 700,000 Tesla vehicles, including the Cybertruck.
The recall was for a tire pressure warning light that may not remain illuminated between drive cycles. So, okay, that should be fixed. And it was by the over-the-air software update almost immediately.
But did Legacy Media report that?
NHTSA even noted it in their notice. Hey, boss, did my job like you asked me to. I wrote that FUD piece about the Tesla recall like you wanted. Here it is.
Nice. We'll make the headline, Tesla recalls 700,000 vehicles over tire pressure monitoring system. And we'll get this out to all the press outlets. That should give people something to talk about over their holiday break while they're drinking their eggnog.
Yeah, crazy how all the press just lines up with practically the same headline when it wasn't a recall.
Recall.
Well, it was a recall, but it was fixed. Normally a recall means, oh my God, people are going to die.
Countless innocent people could die.
And you're going to have to take your car into service. It's going to be a nightmare.
Well, I think that's the big thing.
Hours.
We still have outstanding recall notices on the Rivian and the Ford that have to be brought to the dealer to fix them. They're not big deals, most of them, but it is a big deal if you have to change 2 days of your life to get your car in and out of a dealer. Especially when you bring it to the dealer and like, you know what else you should fix?
Yeah. Versus Tesla, where you wake up the next morning and you didn't even notice that there was a difference. Maybe it said like, would you like to update your software? And you say, sure. And then the problem's fixed and you didn't even realize that there was a problem.
No problemo, man.
So we said that we'd do it and we've done it.
We said as soon as FSD 13 came to one of our vehicles, we would get out there with it and show you what it can do. Because Elon said, try the latest Tesla self-driving software. It'll blow your mind.
All right. We just got full self-driving version 13.2 in the Cybertruck. So let's show you a drive
and let's see if it blows our mind.
FSD 13. All right, let's go. So yeah, I got the update yesterday.
So can it do backup, like out of the driveway?
Just to test that out. Okay, so I got the steering wheel, put it in drive. It can't go forward.
Okay.
So will it shift into reverse? No.
Weird, because I thought I had heard people said they could back right out of their driveway in full self-driving.
Right.
Well, let's go 90 degrees to the driveway. See if it can get out that way. Oh. Wait, it's going to... Why isn't it turning?
I don't know.
Just driving us out into our lawn. But I am surprised.
What if we're kind of kitty-cornered to it? Because
right,
I feel like it has trouble seeing the driveway.
Okay, let's try kitty corner.
Okay.
Oh.
It's more... You can see how it's not all that confident. Now it's much more confident.
Yes.
All right, so we're in standard.
And we did set it as recommended to 40%. Am I right? 40% above the speed.
Yeah, so its max speed can be 40% above.
This is a tricky one.
Yep.
But it handled it nicely. A little slow. So we're coming up to a right on red. Let's see if it does it. And there is traffic on our left. Oh, but the traffic stopped, so it should come to a stop and then go if it... a little slower than it should have, but it did it. I know it's really hard in these videos to tell how it's driving. It is driving excellently right now. Very similar to 12.5. And according to Elon, version 13 should be still not as safe as a human. So we should just keep that in mind. This isn't full self-driving unsupervised yet. Often in a new release, it is not better. It actually sometimes takes a little step backwards before they get some other minor releases out to fix things. But I've been hearing such good things about it that my bar is really high. I've been hearing from Chuck Cook and Holmar's Catalog and Dirty Tesla that like it's been driving amazing. So I'm expecting amazing.
Now, all of those people are testing in like Model 3s and Model Ys, right?
That's true.
Okay.
Guys traveling into our lane.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. As is frequent in New England with texting and driving. Comment down below, how many of you experience texting and driving where you live? We're also going to be testing out some parking. We did a test ride this morning, and it didn't handle a parking lot that well with auto park, so we'll see if it's, I don't know, gotten better.
Yeah.
All right, so we're taking an entrance to the highway here. Really nice choice of speeds.
Yeah.
28 miles an hour getting on the highway. Feels really good on a curvy road.
I like that it's speeding up, even though there is a curve here, just because it reduces the amount of acceleration that you need to do later on.
Yeah, really nice acceleration here. Yeah. This, to me, is one of the nicest features of full self-driving. When you're getting onto a highway, I have to turn and look at two different things, right? If there's a guy in front of me, I don't want to rear end him. And I also have to be looking at oncoming traffic. This takes care of a lot of that, and I can just supervise it and see what it's seeing. It's such a nice feature.
I mean, it got on the highway better than 90% of people.
Before, on the highway, it would go right up to the tailgate of that guy in front of us and then slow down. Now it's driving like I would drive, which is to give him a few car lengths.
Yeah.
And this guy just cut in front, and let's see, it's doing the same. It's kind of keeping up speed, but it's not like going into his rear end.
Yeah. Really slowly increasing the distance. That was very natural. I'm reminded of like Autopilot 1 way back in the day. If somebody got in front of you, it would try as fast as it could to slow down to the appropriate distance. And that would often lead to a somewhat jerky ride. And then they would improve that with a couple of software releases. But, you know, a guy gets in front of you. And so instead of it immediately slamming on the brakes, it just handled it fine. Nice and smooth. You don't have to think or worry about it. So we have a lot of cars coming in on the right.
Interesting that it chose to do this, because this is a tough merge.
This is where I noticed that Autopilot doesn't have any game sense. It's not thinking ahead. It doesn't know that things like this are going to be happening. A very good driver, in my opinion, would know that there was a big merge coming ahead.
Change over to the left.
And, you know, part of that's being like a local and understanding how, you know, traffic patterns work, especially at different times of day.
It does have a map, so it can see that that's going to happen.
Right. Now, in this case, it was fine. And that's partially due to how well it drives and also partially due to how well everybody else adapted. But
if someone had been aggressive right there, I don't know how well it would have. I mean, I think we would have been fine.
Yes, but it might have resulted in a situation or however you want to think about it. And so it's the only thing that I usually notice with full self-driving is its lack of game sense.
And there's a merge here, although this one will be easy because no one's coming.
Yeah.
This can be quite tricky sometimes.
Yep.
All right, so into the sun we go.
Mm-hmm. Speed's good. Distance is good. Very comfortable. Little bit of a
roll there.
Roll of the wheel, but not too bad. So this part's tricky because there's people who want to merge over to the right. They've had a huge long straightaway, so they have speed. We technically can be in this lane, but we do want to be one lane over, so it's going to try and go over. I think technically it did the proper thing. It waited until the lines became dotted before it did it. But it had its blinker on before. So here we're going maybe a little fast.
And a little bit too far to the right.
A little too far to the right, especially since there's a car over there. Now, on the left, there's like a whole bunch of trees and bushes and stuff. I think it was hugging the right a little too much, but, you know, I think
that was a good test because that van was with us for the whole turn.
Yeah. This is really nice because in 12.5 on the Cybertruck, you had no control over speed, you have no control over chill, standard, or hurry, and so just it did whatever it wanted to do and you had no say. Here I actually have some parameters where I can assign it some values, which is really nice.
There's a good mix of driving today, going from suburban to highway to urban.
Yep. So like you could say in terms of game sense, why get over to the left if you're just going to get over to the right again?
That's a really good point you bring up about game sense, because if it's just observing humans, it might be hard for it to guess what the game sense is.
Right. Why I would do a certain thing. So here we're getting over a lane. Now again, game sense. When we unmerged, it could have gone into the left lane instead of choosing the right lane and then having to swap over. Also, we're in the incorrect lane right now to do what we want to do.
Oh, really?
So
it's going to have to get over on the next block.
Yes.
Which is tough.
And I'm not going to help it. I'm
Don't
just going to
help
let
it,
it see what it does. Okay, turns green. So it
does
may
not have its blinker on
It
yet.
may not know. Now, it does see the left turn only arrow. We put on our right blinker. So I don't know what it expects to do. It's going to cut in front of the pickup truck. Yes, it is. Wow.
Very Boston.
I would not have done that.
Yeah, that was not great driving.
That's a dickish thing to do, but I mean, I guess. It's very human. All right, so now we have to contend with both traffic and pedestrians.
Yeah, unprotected left.
So there's a guy crossing the street. There's cars coming.
It should go.
So he waved us on. I'm not going to give it anything. It finally figured out that that guy was letting us go, but it didn't see that he was waving.
So that basically was kind of uncomfortable because it was a slow left.
Yes, we took too long, in my opinion. It's only by a second or two, but a lot of people expect you to respond when they wave you on.
And we're on cobblestones right now.
We're on cobblestones.
And we got a big thing in the middle of the road.
Yep. So this is a non-four-way stop. So I don't know if it knows this. So what it should do is pull forward. But right now, it's just going to go straight through. Now, no one was there, so I don't know if it would have handled it poorly or not.
It handled the barrel nicely.
Everything else is pretty good.
But it could just pull right in on the left over there.
Yes.
Which would be great.
It put its blinker on.
Oh. Oh. Is this... Oh, park, dude. What are you doing? Is it because that car's pulling out?
I don't know. It's doing the right thing with the wheel.
It's way far from the curb.
It is. I mean, I know that it's probably expecting me to take over.
Why don't you take over for a second and see if the parking will... If we can do an auto park.
Okay. I don't see any auto parking. So
Weird.
I think I'll just pull in manually.
I'll Optimus in and get our food.
All right. So now we're going to go. It should be a 7-minute trip, like 1 mile. Put it in drive.
Okay.
Seems to be ready to take over.
How's your blood pressure, by the way? Like,
Oh, I'm very relaxed.
that's good.
We're doing fine. Pulled out. Good.
Oh, right in the sun.
Right in the sun.
Oh, I can't see a thing.
Yeah.
And I've got a visor on. Wow. Good job.
We want to be in the right lane. It's going to be in the middle.
It's chosen the middle.
It's chosen the exact
Massachusetts.
Center. Wow.
Wow. Okay.
That's
It's I don't blame it. It's really hard to see, but
Yeah, but that's pretty bad.
also weird because we had a car in front of us to kind of guide
Yeah.
where it should be.
I know. Really wasn't following that. I feel like it takes a long time on green lights for it to go.
It's going around this U-Haul a little bit. I would have probably given it even more. What do you think?
I think it was fine.
It was fine. Yeah,
I
we
think
got a
this
stop
is
sign.
5-way.
Yeah, there's a
So
5-way.
pedestrians on the right, cars everywhere. Handled that decently.
I mean, did it?
There,
The guy had his blinker on.
I think he had the wrong blinker on first, and then he switched it.
Oh, okay.
Which
So
he did
misguided.
everything correctly. I mean, he didn't do anything wrong.
Crosswalk here, but no one in it.
Yep.
A guy
Okay, waited for him.
still
I mean,
waiting
it's
for him.
polite, but we should be going. No one's behind us. Okay.
It starts to realize that he's not moving, I guess. That's great.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, you and I would have known that he wasn't walking out, but that was great. He was doing an unusual thing because he was a tradesman. He was getting stuff out of the back of his truck, but if
Right.
he had opened his door, like
Yep.
this guy might do.
So another pedestrian here.
Oh, but
I
interesting.
think he's waiting to cross, but it looked like he was going to get in that car.
And we're going to be taking unprotected left here. And these are tricky,
Yeah.
as you know, drivers, because you can't see very well with the pickup truck there.
Nice.
Did it well.
Did pretty
and
good.
right
little,
into the sun.
little slow, wrong lane.
Really
This
weird.
road is, I call it 1.5 lanes because right now it's 1, but sometimes people choose that it's 2 lanes. It's going into something where there are 2 lanes.
And what lane should it be in?
I believe we want to be on the left lane.
And it seems to know that.
Yeah.
Now it has to get over a little bit. I see. Yeah, I see what you're talking about.
So
It's weird.
yeah, it's kind of a weird offset.
But it did it perfectly.
Yeah. So now what we should be doing is pulling into this parking lot. So we'll see if it does that. And I mean, it's not super obvious where it is, but it found it. Pulls
Seems
in.
to ignore potholes.
Yep. Let's see. Ooh. Yep.
It seems to be hitting all the potholes.
Seems to be aiming for
although
them.
this is full of them.
Okay, now it has the right blinker on.
It's going to park.
It's going to park.
Well, look at that.
Well.
Is it a real parking job? Yes, it is. All right, we've had our lunch. It's back on the road time.
All right.
Going over to our favorite store, Harbor Freight. And Harbor Freight, by the way, if you'd like to sponsor us.
That's a very tricky route.
Is it?
Yeah, let's give it a shot.
All right.
Okay. So,
And there's no way I can back out of the space and start it, right? Because I saw all over X, people are saying they could do this.
no. There's nowhere that it says anything about reverse. So maybe the Cybertruck doesn't have that feature.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right, because I've only been seeing it in Model Ys and stuff. Okay.
So, because right now I'm in reverse, I can't put it into autopilot.
Okay.
So that would mean that Full Self-Driving 13 is not the same between Cybertruck and Model Y.
Maybe.
That makes sense. Jesse self-driving. Okay. So, put it in. It's going to hit every pothole on the way, I'm sure. A little too slow, in my opinion.
Ant's got to take a left, but there's a bus coming, and we're in the sun.
Okay.
And it should go now. And it does.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah, we're in standard. We're not in a hurry. I'm noticing how it leaves a space of time between when that car goes and when it goes. Ideally, you would be following directly behind the car in front of you. Okay, so now we hit the stop. So, who gets to go? We do. Good.
Wow, did it correctly.
Handled that really well, and so did everybody else. Congratulations, everybody.
Feels very safe.
Yeah.
This might be the first release where I just feel really super comfortable. Like,
It hasn't jerked much.
mm.
There hasn't been much herky-jerkiness. So this one's complicated because there isn't really enough space on the road. But again, didn't slam on the brakes. It didn't do anything. It was just calm. It knew there was enough room, and it let it happen. I think it's doing a pretty good job here. Kind of finding where the middle of the road is, even when the road doesn't really make any sense. No lines.
No lines.
It's looking into the sun. There's like a whole lane that I guess is supposed to be for cars.
Oh, this is
to park.
complicated.
Yeah. This one might be where it's going to have trouble.
And usually you have to be very aggressive to get through something like this.
Yeah.
Tons of traffic on both sides.
Yep. And we don't even have any room on the other side.
I mean, it couldn't have gone yet. So.
No, of course.
But now,
So now
it
we're
could.
clear on the left. How's the right?
No, now, I can't even tell.
So not on the left. How about the right?
Now we can go.
Okay.
We're good. We're good. We're
Ooh,
good.
faster. Why was that so slow?
Yeah, too slow.
Way
But
too slow.
It did it. Safely.
It did it safely. I mean, it did have enough time, but you just never know what's coming around the bend.
Right. But it didn't do that, start-stop hesitation thing
True.
that earlier versions did. It felt very secure of, I'm going to go when I'm going to go.
I wonder if it took what would have been start-stop and it just smoothed out that curve.
Could have been.
And that's why we didn't go decisively, but that's also why we didn't jerk around.
Maybe.
It looks like it's going to just park
Also,
in a spot.
yeah, but it doesn't show any spots.
No.
I think it, we want to be over there, so why did it pick this spot?
I don't know. We're not entirely in. This would be like, you'd look and you'd be like, that's a bad parking job. But
Oh,
you
it's a
wouldn't
horrible
be like,
parking job.
But you wouldn't be like, what a complete jerk.
Yes, you would.
We're not. I would. It thinks
Well,
it's done. Let's see.
Is it?
Is it going to pick back up? As soon as it sees the road, it says, oh, I can drive this. Weird.
That was weird.
I mean, it does have auto park. I guess we're just going to have to tell it to auto park.
Yeah, but it's weird that you have to come out of full self-driving.
I know.
Like right now, it could park the car. But it's not.
Swinging in like it wants to.
And then it's just doing the same weird kitty corner thing.
We're in the middle of two parking spots.
Yeah.
I'll park in that spot.
Even though it's a...
It's not?
Okay. Weird that it's, A, taking so long,
Yep.
and B, that it's not really steering appropriately to get us into that spot. It's doing just kind of... If there were people waiting, it would be very weird.
And look, it knows it's going to have to do it multiple times.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't know how to park. It's like auto park forgot.
It hasn't turned all the way yet.
It's like it doesn't know what it's turning right. Yeah, it just had to stop it because it was going to hit that car.
I don't know how close we are. We're pretty close.
Yeah, that's...
It's just, what the like, it's just not doing... Like, the way that you park is that you end up turning the wheel, all the way. So I turn the wheel like this, and then, maybe for here I can guide it in. That's just because I was
Could the
in a
sun
weird
have been a problem?
situation. I have no idea.
But that's just doesn't give you much confidence
No.
All right, so we'll be back in a second with the final leg that we'll put in hurry mode. All right, we're in a hurry.
Oh, we're in a hurry. Okay. So I have to pull out and tell it to go, and we'll set it to hurry. So it's not hurrying through the parking lot, which is good. I don't think we need it to.
Well, if we hurry, we can catch the light.
I know, right? It's
We
full
couldn't
anyway.
It's full. Let's see what it does.
Yeah. So it turned yellow, so that kind of ended the discussion on that. Okay,
Okay,
green
we've got
light.
the light, but
Guy in the middle of the intersection. So we're just going to miss a whole light.
well, we couldn't go anywhere. It did technically the right thing.
It
I know
did.
it's frustrating, but
Yeah. Okay,
Go,
green.
go.
My goodness.
wow, that took too long.
It's really, I don't know why it does that.
Yeah, and this is tricky, as you can see, because you have to pick your spot and try and like squeeze through. And
Well, and here's where people might let you go, and you need to be able to know that they're letting you go.
yeah, will it? No.
So
It
right
looks
now
like
there's
this
a
White Acura is
yeah.
letting people through,
Yeah.
but it's a 2-lane, or it's a Toyota, but it's two.
It's
See, that
two,
guy had
and
to
so that
stop.
guy almost got T-boned.
Yep. And there's pedestrians.
Yes.
Okay, so it's gonna happen. Toyota's number 2 is not gonna stop.
Okay.
Number 1 has stopped.
Okay.
Will we get T-boned?
Nope. We just kind of lucked out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very well done.
Yeah. No, I mean, I never felt like it was doing anything wrong. So it's getting over before half a mile before.
Yeah.
So in 12.5, without fail, it would get over to the right lane only a half mile before your exit.
Yep.
It found a nice spot. That actually, to keep using the word game sense, that had some game sense there.
Yeah, I wonder if there is a difference between hurry, standard, and chill in terms of just factors, like, oh, go 0.7, times slower on chill, or if there's actually different game sense, as you call it.
Yeah.
So even though we're in hurry, I actually feel really safe. All right, so what do you think about FSD 13, your first drive impression?
I think that the biggest improvement for me was on the highway. I think that it really handled the distance between the car in front of it much better than it was on 12.5. What about you?
I think on these, I agree with you completely. And then I think also on these back roads, it's just way more comfortable. Before on 12.5, I would sometimes just be really paying attention whether it was getting too close, especially at night or on a rainy day. Like you'd be like, oh, take into account the conditions.
Yeah.
I know today is pretty perfect, but it's just driving. It's like sensing the driver in front of you way better.
My biggest critique is going to be how slowly it handles certain interactions, but the flip side of that is how smoothly it handles it. So it may be slow, but it handles it smoothly, as opposed to before, I feel like it was very jerky. And that jerk was kind of, in some ways, worse than simply being slow and steady.
But like when this turns green, count when you would have gone compared to when it goes.
Yeah.
Let's see how close the two are.
Okay. Go.
Yeah, so it's a second and a half late.
But it shouldn't do that. It's a computer, so it could just, while it's waiting at a red light, go, is it safe to cross
I
the
agree.
intersection?
Go, no go.
Go, no go. And so basically, as soon as the light turns green, it knows that it's go, so it goes.
I totally agree.
But it's been doing that at every green light. Where it's
Exactly.
been like,
It just seems like there's a second and a half delay.
now I shall go. It's
Yeah.
like, come on.
And then New England, that's right on the cusp of getting beeped at. Down in the comments, let us know whether you would have beeped at us or not at that red light. All right, well, let's hop out of the truck and get back on the set and get the show going.
All right.
All right, to be clear, FSD 13.2 does not have beginning or ending trip code in it yet. I found this out after our test, so we don't want to give false impressions that the Cybertruck couldn't do something that it should be able to do. The software is evolving, and that's why we're testing and sharing it with you. The downside of this is that things are changing so fast. It can be hard to know exactly what each version that we see in videos is and what version of hardware the car has, etc. In fact, right now, the Cybertruck, as we're recording this, is getting a software update. I saw that.
That's
so
great.
I'm hoping that it's the Christmas one.
It could be 13.3.
It could be 13.3. It's exciting, but it's also confusing for a lot of people.
Can I just say, version 13 is incredible. It's not the final step, but it felt even better than the last step. So, I mean, we are getting there, and we're getting there really fast. So Sarah said, I have a publishing company for kids and got my Cybertruck wrapped to work as a chalkboard. I can use chalk pens on it.
That's so fun.
That is fun. I wonder if people just kind of walk up to her car and leave her notes or something.
I guess, oddly enough, the Cybertruck is magnetic, even though it's stainless steel.
Right.
So maybe you could have a little magnetic thing that holds chalk. Wouldn't help your aero efficiency. Maybe you can put it on the back. But
Hey, if you want to learn about everything Cybertruck, then go to our friends at the Cybertruck Owners Club. They help sponsor the show, and that's where you can find out from Cybertruck owners all those questions you have, maybe before you get yours. Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for watching Now You Know Clips.
you can watch full episodes of Tesla Time News on Tuesdays and in-depths on Fridays. Just click the link down below and head over to the Now You Know channel.